tuning in. Today we're going to look at 3 instantly recognisable classic intros. Since You've Been Gone by Rainbow, Living After Midnight by Judas Priest, and Back in Black by AC/DC. So pull up a chair, grab your guitar, and I'll go up close on each one after a quick demo, and I'll see you soon. The first one we're going to look at is Since You've Been Gone by Rainbow, and it's in Ritchie Blackmore's favourite key, or so it appears, of G. Not that it matters so much during the intro, as it's all power chords. Okay, so it sounds something like this. We'll go in close and I'll break it down. See you in a moment. Since You've Been Gone, Rainbow. This was an album about 1979, I think it was, and it kind of took Rainbow into a more commercial area with Since You've Been Gone and All Night Long. Graham Bonnet was the singer, and it was his only album with the band, funnily enough. Just a little bit of trivia there. So it starts off in G power chord. It's all power chords. So we start off on the G power chord. So 3rd fret on the low E, 5th fret on the A, 5th fret on the D. Jump to the D power chord on the A string, 5th fret. Up to the 7th fret on the A string. Down to the 3rd fret. Okay, so that's the first little section. Then the second beat comes back, 3 on the G again, and then we hit this like that. Okay. That's the first round. So we do this little, after hitting that once, twice, and then 3rd time. So you hit it, and then slide it up from the 3rd to the 5th fret on the A string, and then hit it again as you finish. And it starts again. The whole thing repeats exactly the same, except right at the end it's slightly different. Okay, the very end piece. So second part. Yes, ever so slightly different. And Graham Bonnet does his lovely vocal piece before the song kicks in. So the whole thing, nice and slow. Okay, give it a go. The second one we're going to look at today is Living After Midnight by Judas Priest. Instantly recognisable by the drum intro, and then when the guitars kick in, you know it's going to be a fun song. Okay, so again, it's all power chords really, so same shapes kind of thing. close for some Judas Priest, Living After Midnight. A fun song, but it kind of broke them through to the sort of commercial side of rock, if you like, back in the 1980, I think it was, off the British Steel album. So the opening sequence, as you know, starts off with the drums. Once the band kicks in, we have these power chords. Now, a power chord, just in case you didn't know, it's a movable shape. So the shape itself, if we was to play a B power chord, we play the 7th fret there, the 9th fret on the A, and the 9th fret on the D. And we can move that to any set of strings. It's the same position, the same shape. Okay, so this starts off on an E, a high E, on the A string, 7th fret. Okay, so we're going to hit 2 of that, like that. Going to go down to the 5th fret with the same shape. Then we're going to go down to the 5th fret on the A string. So that opening sequence is okay. One more time. And then we hit the B, could call it a turnaround, and then it starts again. So we get a little push, okay, in going into the verses. And what that is an E power chord with a little bit of palm muting. Okay, so as we hit the push, then we hit a G power chord. So that repeats, and then you have this little out section. Let it hang up to the B. So that's a little section there is G, power chord, F sharp, and then B. Okay? And then when it comes back into the verse, we do something, just a little extra chord, right? So I'll just play that whole sequence before we look at the going back in to the chorus again. So we get the push. Then we're back into the main theme. You just notice then after the B, before we go back into the chorus, we hit this D power chord on the 5th fret of the A string. Okay? So the whole sequence sounds something like this. main theme. Now, as I said, there is a little kind of offbeat groove going on there by one of the other guitars. So when it's doing this down in the low E, there's another guitar going like that, like on an offbeat. Okay, so what you're doing there, I think it's on the high E, and you're basically going 1, 2, 3. If you want to keep it down there. But have a listen. So yeah, have fun. The third and final one we're going to look at today is Back in Black by AC/DC, an absolute classic. Got my SG, no school uniform though, but that's another story. And it sounds like this. And then we're into the song. So I'll go in close and I'll break it down for you. Here we are, up nice and close with my SG, looking at AC/DC's Back in Black. So the opening 3 chords are E, D and A. We have 1 hit on the E, 3 on the D, 3 on the A. Okay? Then we have this E minor pentatonic lick that brings us down like that. So we're 3rd fret on the E string, the high E, pick the open E string, high E, pick the 3rd fret on the B string, pick the open B. Then in the 2nd fret of the G string, we're going to play the G, but as we play it, the G string, we're going to bend it up, bring it down again, and then pull off to the open G, like that. Then we're back to the riff, to the chords. So we get. One more time, nice and slow. Okay, then the 2nd time round, once we hit that E again, it goes same thing. Then we've got this climbing run where he pivots on the B string, 2nd fret, and he'll play the B string there, then he'll play the 4th fret on the E string, the low E, go back to the B, then he'll play the 5th fret of the E string, back to the B, then the 6 on the low E, back to the B, then he actually plays the B note on the low E. So you get this. And then back to the riff. Okay? So the whole thing is and then it all starts again. So very quickly, that last bit again for the climb up. Give it a go. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. It's always good fun playing those classic intros, so recognisable, and we just love them. Well, I certainly do. If you liked what you saw, please give me a like. Feel free to comment, and most importantly, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'm just enjoying this nice cup of coffee. Alfie's in the corner, bless him, and I'll keep doing what I do, and I'll see you next time. So until then, cheers.